Well, howdy, folks. Sometimes, if you think about reality, the truth of reality, where are you in the truth of reality? I can't help driving by a cemetery and realizing I'm looking at reality, the truth of reality. Each one of our lives is a little blip. This short little timeline of existence that we consider so important while we're living it. And everyone passes away. And as we do, we may have friends and family that mourn our loss, and they'll think about us maybe for years, maybe for the rest of their life. They'll think about us. Might not be every minute of their life, of course not, but something will happen. They'll think back about us, and they keep our memory alive. Eventually, every person who ever knew us will also pass away, and there'll be no one thinking about any of us. The only exceptions would be someone who left behind some sort of, say, art or music, or they built something, some sort of construction or some sort of deed. The people that make it in the history books. But even if they are thought about, it's not by the people who knew them, only the people who read about them. So their thoughts concerning somebody from the past that they never knew are going to be different than the thoughts of, say, friends and family or people who actually knew somebody. And the masses of people that are alive today are tomorrow's cemetery. Just like driving by a cemetery, we are looking at the remnants of the past. And each one of those tombstones was a living, vibrant life of waking up and seeing the sunshine and feeling the rain and the wind and the cold and eating their favorite food and getting sick and getting married and falling in love. And everything that we're doing today, these people went through a whole lifetime of it and then died. I gotta wonder, seeing that this is the reality. This is the reality of the eons. And what's closer to us, say the last century, or the century before. In some places of the world, their cemeteries go back hundreds of years, and you can stand there and look at the tombstone from someone who died hundreds of years ago, and just ponder, who was that person? So much of the cemeteries of today have people that we had known, at least the more recent tombstones. Now you can drive by one of these final resting places and see someone who died in 1910. If they died in 1910, then the last person who would have known this person may have died years ago. Their memory is lost. They're nothing but a block of granite with a corpse there. some bones, whatever's left of them. And how can people treat life the way they do when you can see how short life is in a cemetery? Take a drive by and look at some tombstones. Look at, set in stone, the dates of their birth and death. And these people have nothing to say anymore. It's all been done. It's all said and done. Their story was written into the minds of those who knew them, and in some rare cases may have made it into history books. There may be records left behind with the government of certain aspects of their life, their birth date, when they got married, places they lived. But their stories, the stories of most people, disappear upon the death of their friends and family and those who knew them. And it's like a wave. It's demise of not only the body, the whole being. All that's left is bones and granite. But that's a life just like yours that existed. How can we keep treating life the way we do? How do we keep putting importance on the unimportant? Or the things that are important, how do we keep treating them like they're not? How do we keep living the way we keep living? I don't understand. To marvel at a tombstone, at hundreds of tombstones, to see the names, the dates. You can see whole families, just like your family. 100 years from now, your family's laid to rest, and someone else in the future is looking at your tombstone. And they don't know the errors of your ways. They don't know the successes you may have accomplished. You're forgotten. All of us being forgotten people, or most all of us. In the future, we're forgotten people. What's the legacy of our lives? How can we be so rotten to each other in such a short period of time, as if life never ends? It's as if we're struggling for recognition, for dominance, for comfort. All this stuff, we turn life into a minor battle zone, some of us, that has no necessity and no final merit whatsoever. None. Think about it, folks. Think about it. Pass the cemetery and think about life and realize we are the past. We're just lucky enough that in the present we still have our lives. It's like staring up at the sky and realizing how small we are. We are next to nothing compared to the universe. But we live in a power struggle of little specks of dust. Something to think about. Talk to you later.